Hey Summit Daily viewers, this is Antonio Olivero, sports and outdoors editor with the Summit Daily News, coming at you today from the Ptarmigan Peak Trailhead here up above Silverthorne, as you can see. After our first jaunt up the Angler Mountain Trail, a little bit further north in Silverthorne last week for the first edition of this summer's weekly Bootprints hiking guide articles and vlogs. We're here at Ptarmigan Peak and we're going to shoot for the summit today. From this trailhead here on the dirt road that extends off the Ptarmigan Trail Road in Silverthorne, we're looking, by my calculations, looking at the Nat Geo map, about a 5.2 mile hike up somewhere around, I'm approximating 3,400 feet to the Ptarmigan Peak summit, which rises about 1,000 feet above tree line. So hopefully this elevation gain takes somewhere between 3 or 4 hours. We can get down quicker than that, but obviously always above tree line. You got to be careful as you're scrambling up, and we'll be watching out for weather. Hoping for an awesome hike here today. I've read good things about this hike. The one thing I will note is, looking at my Nat Geo map, which I used the Vail Frisco Dillon map to look at this trail and kind of what's going on in this area terrain wise. That map has it the summit at 12,948 feet, whereas almost every other guide and write-up I've looked at is 12,498, switching the 9 and the 4. So we'll see, if there's an extra 500 feet of elevation gain and Nat Geo's right, or if all you guys should know if you're looking at that map that that number may be wrong. So come along for the hike, and should be a fun one. One quick note as you start off this hike here, we're about 300 feet of elevation gain in. You can see Lake Dillon, and you can't really see the highway down below, but there's a road coming up here. After you walk a short way on the trail, you're going to come across a road crossing. You want to cross that road, and then you want to continue up the next road. As you can see the road down there, the trail marker, at least the post in the ground that says trail this way, was down when I walked past it. Second guess for a second there, but kept going on the road, saw some hikers up above, and found the trail. So just continue up the road and you'll see the trail on your right. As we approach this canopy of trees over here, as you can see, we're about 500 feet of elevation gain and 0.6 miles into our hike. So with the hike starting just under 9,100, we're just under 9,700 feet of gain. And down below, you can see the highway. All right, so about 1.9 miles, 860 feet of elevation gain, and 38 minutes into this hike from the Ptarmigan Trailhead, we come to where we left you guys last week, the junction with the Angler Mountain Trail, which is down below. About, I'd say, 1,100 feet of elevation gain and just under 2.5 miles of distance gained in this hike. So a little over halfway there distance wise, but only a third elevation gain wise. You're going to come to this beautiful outlook, about maybe 5-10 minutes worth of walking. I'd say 10 minutes after the Angler Mountain Trail junction. And there's this beautiful bench here that you can sit on and look out on the Blue River Valley below. There's Red Peak in the distance, and Buffalo Mountain. Okay, so we're about an hour and 35 minutes into our hike. We've gained about 2,200 feet of vertical as we come out into the sunlight here. We've lost about 90 feet of vertical, to give you an idea of how this is pretty much just a uphill trail. You're not losing any elevation to this point. So we're coming out with about 2,100 feet of elevation gain after starting at 9,100 feet at about 11.3 by my calculation at this point, which brings us to this overlook. Silverthorne way down below in the Gore Range out there in the distance. Should be approaching pretty much tree line here in the next few hundred feet of elevation gain. As you can tell, the crumb holes, the short little strong trees up here at about tree line, are getting smaller, which means they're stronger and able to withstand winter's wrath as we come along this trail. To this point, really hard to lose the trail. And to this point in the trail, since I last saw you guys down by that bench and passed by those gnomes coming up the trail, hidden just off the trail. It's kicked my butt a little bit. So for people out there like me, reasonably fit, though you may be able to trail run in spots down below, probably switch over to hiking and walking, as that middle portion of the trail, you're going to gain some serious elevation from about 1,000 feet at that bench. Total gain to, like I said, another 1,100 feet. So yeah, we'll check in with you guys in a bit. So about an hour and 53 minutes, 4.3 miles, 2,500 feet of gain, about 90 feet of loss again, we reached the Ptarmigan Peak Wilderness line. So beyond here, we are in wilderness as we look ahead to the above tree line terrain, headed toward Ptarmigan Pass, Ptarmigan Peak. Pretty much at tree line here, I'd say at about 11:05. Beyond this marker, dogs have to be on leashes on these Forest Service trails in the wilderness. Also, obviously, in campgrounds. Below here, not so much. Although the rule obviously is 10 feet within you, the dog should be, and under voice control and command. Right, so right at that wilderness marker, we came across Kyle Lutz of Ohio, hiking the Continental Divide Trail from New Mexico to Canada, as we reach pretty much tree line here on the Ptarmigan Peak Trail. Kyle's headed up to the pass to continue his journey. I'll be going up to the peak. Kyle, as you keep going, how would you describe the CDT through Summit County here in the general area?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
What were your favorite parts of the CDT so far?
Oh, that's tricky. But I'd have to say the southern San Juans.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
What's the snow been like? Like how
How bad?
yeah, how bad has the post-hauling been?
The trail's been like this.
Pretty much,
There's
yeah.
a little patch up there.
Yeah.
It's been like that. Every so often you'll come across a snow patch. You'll be mildly annoyed. You'll step over it, and then you'll keep going.
Awesome, cool.
So,
Awesome.
I've hiked other trails in other years. Like I hiked Pacific Crest last year.
All right.
And
Going for the Triple Crown?
yeah,
Nice, nice.
did the Appalachian before that.
Oh, so this is it for you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
1,000 miles.
Cool, cool. So here in Summit, the trail, just to give viewers an idea, what'd you hike so far through Summit County?
Oh, let's see.
What mountains or trails?
I went up Albert.
Elbert? Yeah, that's a little outside the county, but that's cool.
Yeah, it was quite the climb. What I love about this trail is it's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
So, like Albert technically isn't on trail.
yeah,
Since it's a state high point, I wanted to get it.
yeah.
So we went off trail and got it. Came back down. Yeah.
Sweet. Do you know where you came into the county or not really? Like after Albert, what'd you hit next?
Copper.
Copper Mountain?
Or no, after Albert it was lead tech.
Yeah, yeah. So you came into the county in Copper.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, cool. Well, welcome to Summit County. Good luck on your journey.
Thanks, man.
CDT during COVID, and be well. All right, later, Kyle.
Happy trails.
Yeah, happy trails. All right, so 2,900 feet of elevation gain. Again, only about 90 feet of loss into the hike. Just under 5 miles into the hike. As you see, two hikers you may be able to see up in the distance where we're headed. We are continuing up to Ptarmigan Peak, above tree line here in this alpine meadow of sorts. Kyle departed us to go to Ptarmigan Pass, which you can access at right. There are those two wooden posts down below, which kind of denote the path to take, whether you want to go to the pass or the peak. As you see the Gore Range in view at right, now that we're above tree line, 10-mile range, a little bit of the lake at left. You can see Quandary dead center in the distance with Baldy and Guyot at left, and then Keystone Resort over there. You can see some of the ski runs as we continue up, gaining about 2,900 feet of elevation so far. Should have another 500 to 600 feet of gain if the Ptarmigan summit elevation of about 12,498 is correct. Not terribly steep here. It looks like it's going to get steeper. And as we look to the left, we can see this ridge line here in the Williams Fork range. I'm sorry. And I believe that's Ute Peak. That kind of bowl that you're looking at left. Ute Peak over there. So That's a hike a lot of people do, is the traverse of this range from Ptarmigan over to Ute Peak to a car parked perhaps over at the top of Ute Pass. All right, so we come to this junction. The Ute Peak Trail continues on along the ridgeline, which connects you to the rest of the Williams Forks range. We're gonna come up here to the summit of Ptarmigan. So yeah, it's just this one little kind of short jaunt off the traverse trail that takes you up to this big cairn, which signifies the summit of Ptarmigan at 12,498. So the Nat Geo map is incorrect. This ridgeline off the backside is Grant County. So we're looking that way right now. As we pan to the right, you can see the popular 14ers, Grays and Tories, those twin peaks. As we pan back left, it's the ridgeline on the Williams Forks going north, the Williams Forks, sorry. Ute Peak in the distance. Got a couple more hikers coming up now. Gore Range behind them. A little bit of a rainstorm coming our way. Might get a little wet going back. As we head back down from the summit of Ptarmigan Peak at 12,498. To recap the exact numbers, 3,496 feet of elevation gain according to my Topo app. Just over 6 miles, 6.05 miles was the total distance hiking. As we head back down, it took us 2 hours and 47 minutes. So at my pace, which I'd say is for a reasonably fit hiker in the Rocky Mountains or visiting the Rocky Mountains, you're looking at getting up here, again, that almost 3,500 feet of gain in 2:45 to 3 hours. All the way up, there were never really any steep portions. As you can see behind me, it's a trail all the way to the summit. No real cairns that you have to follow, so don't worry about kind of finding your way on the trail. It's pretty much a clear trail, single track at the end, all the way up. No scrambling, no steep climbing. You know, just a nice little hike. We got up there, summited at about 10:30, I want to say. Seems like a popular time for people to summit. As we got some trail runners in view up ahead, coming up the mountain, heading back down. Glad we conquered it. I'm gonna go for my own summit treat, the old $1,000 bar. Later.